Greetings, greetings, greetings on this thoughtful Thursday, August 31st, 2023, as we prepare to say goodbye to August and summer, and hello to September and the fall. And as the fall season comes upon us, we'll start seeing things literally fall from the trees around us. And someone mentioned that to me today, how distressing thoughts should be acknowledged, like leaves blowing in the wind. Acknowledge them as they fall to the ground, but don't pick them up. Don't examine them. Just watch them fall to the ground. Focus on the leaves that are living, that are still on the trees, the present, the living tree. All the things that need to fall away, and the tree still lives. So today's read is in that type of energy, and it's a list of 30 grounding techniques to quiet distressing thoughts, because let's be real, we all have them. And it's helpful to know how to ground yourself, to come back into yourself as that tree, that living tree, letting those distressing thoughts fall away. I found this list to be quite helpful. It was shared with me today. Unfortunately, I'm going through some car trouble, which is distressing, very distressing. And I found this list to be helpful and thought that it was a good thing to share with someone else. Let's get into it. Hey, want to make a podcast? Well, Spotify has a platform that lets you make one very easily, then distribute it everywhere and even earn money all in one place for free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters, and here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit podcasts right from your phone or computer, so no matter what your setup is like, you can start recording today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else podcasts are heard. Video podcasts are also an option. So get started today. See you in the podcast world. These grounding techniques were found on the website www.healthline.com, written by Crystal Raypole, and updated on July 20th, 2023. Also medically reviewed by Lori Lawrence, PSYD. The headline, the title of the article is 30 Grounding Techniques to Quiet Distressing Thoughts. And the article is broken up into 6 segments. And one is physical techniques, followed by mental techniques, then soothing techniques. Then they get into how do they work. Then they get into when to use them. And then they get into some bonus tips. Grounding is a practice that can help you pull away from flashbacks, unwanted memories, and negative or challenging emotions. Grounding techniques are exercises that may help you refocus on the present moment to distract yourself from anxious feelings. You can use grounding techniques to help create space from distressing feelings in nearly any situation, but they're especially helpful for improving anxiety, well-being, stress, depression, mood, post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, and disassociation. So they start with the physical grounding techniques. These techniques use your senses or tangible objects, things you can touch, to help you move through distress. 1. Put your hands in water. Focus on the water's temperature and how it feels on your fingertips, your palms, and the backs of your hands. Does it feel the same in each part of your hand? Use warm water first, then cold. Next, try cold water first, then warm. Does it feel different to switch from cold to warm water versus warm to cold? 2. Pick up or touch items near you. Are the things you touch soft or hard, heavy or light, warm or cool? Focus on the texture and color of each item. Challenge yourself to think of specific colors such as crimson, burgundy, indigo, or turquoise instead of simply red or blue. 3. Breathe. Deeply. Slowly inhale. Then exhale. If it helps, you can say or think in and out with each breath. Feel each breath filling your lungs and note how it feels to push it back out. 4. Savor a food or a drink. Take small bites or sips of a food or a beverage you enjoy, letting yourself fully taste each bite. Think about how it tastes and smells and the flavors that linger on your tongue. 5. Take a short walk. Concentrate on your steps. You can even count them. Notice the rhythm of your footsteps and how it feels to put your foot on the ground and then lift it again. 6. Hold a piece of ice. What does it feel like at first? How long does it take to start melting? How does the sensation change when the ice begins to melt? 7. Savor a scent. Is there a fragrance that appeals to you? This might be a cup of tea, an herb or a spice, a favorite soap, or a scented candle. Inhale the fragrance slowly and deeply and try to note its qualities: sweet, spicy, citrusy, and so on. 8. Move your body. Do a few exercises or stretches. You could try jumping jacks, jumping up and down, jumping rope, jogging in place, stretching different muscle groups one by one. Pay attention to how your body feels with each movement and when your hands or feet touch the floor or move through the air. How does the floor feel against your feet and hands? If you jump rope, listen to the sound of the rope in the air and when it hits the ground. 9. Listen to your surroundings. Take a few moments to listen to the noises around you. Do you hear birds? Dogs barking? Machinery or traffic? If you hear people talking, what are they saying? Do you recognize the language? Let the sounds wash over you and remind you where you are. 10. Feel your body. You can do this sitting or standing. Focus on how your body feels from head to toe, noticing each part. Consider your hair on your shoulders or forehead, the weight of your shirt on your shoulders, whether your arms feel loose or stiff at your sides, your heartbeat, and whether it's rapid or steady, whether your stomach feels full or you feel hungry, whether your legs are crossed or your feet are resting on the floor. Curl your fingers and wiggle your toes. Are you barefoot or in shoes? How does the floor feel against your feet? 11. Try the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method. Working backward from 5, use your senses to list things you noticed around you. For example, you might start by listing 5 things you hear, 4, things you see. 3, things you can touch from where you're sitting. 2, things you can smell. 1, thing you can taste. Make an effort to notice the little things you might not always pay attention to, such as the color of the flecks in the carpet or the hum of your computer. Next up, mental grounding techniques. These grounding exercises use mental distractions to help redirect your thoughts away from distressing feelings and back to the present. Play a memory game. Look at a detailed photograph or picture, like a cityscape or other busy scene, for 5 to 10 seconds. Then turn the photograph face down and recreate the photograph in your mind in as much detail as possible. Or you can mentally list all the things you remember from the picture. Think in categories. Choose 1 or 2 broad categories such as musical instruments or ice cream flavors or baseball teams. Take a minute to mentally list as many things from each category as you can. Use math and numbers. Even if you aren't a math person, numbers may help center you. Try running through a times table in your head, or counting backward from 100, or choosing a number and thinking of 5 ways you could make the number. 6 plus 11 equals 17, 20 minus 3 equals 17, 8 times 2 plus 1 equals 17, etc. Recite something. Think of a poem, a song, or a book passage you know by heart. Recite it quietly to yourself or in your head. If you say the words aloud, focus on the shape of each word on your lips and in your mouth. If you say the words in your head, visualize each word as you'd see it on a page. Make yourself laugh. Make up a silly joke, the kind you'd find on a candy wrapper or a popsicle stick. You might also watch your favorite funny animal video, a clip from a comedian or a TV show you enjoy, or anything else you know that will make you laugh. Use an anchoring statement. This might be something like, I'm Denise Chatterwick. I'm 27 years old. I live in Toledo, Ohio. Today is Friday, June 3rd. It's 10:04 in the morning. I'm sitting at my desk at work and there's no one else in the room. You can expand on the phrase by adding details until you feel calm, such as, it's raining lightly, but I can still see the sun. It's my break time. I'm thirsty, so I'm going to make a cup of tea. Visualize a daily task you enjoy or don't mind doing. If you like doing laundry, for example, think about how you'd put away a finished load. The clothes feel warm coming out of the dryer. They're soft and a little stiff at the same time. They feel light in the basket, even though they spill over the top. I'm spreading them out over the bed so they won't wrinkle. I'm folding the towels first, shaking them out before folding them into halves, then thirds, and so on. Describe a common task. Think of an activity you do often or can do very well, such as making coffee, locking up your office, or tuning a guitar. Go through the process, step by step, as if you're giving someone else instructions on how to do it. Imagine yourself leaving the painful feelings behind. Visualize gathering the emotions, balling them up and putting them into a box. Walking, swimming, biking, or jogging away from painful feelings. Visualize your thoughts as a song or a TV show you dislike, changing the channel or turning down the volume. They're still there, but you don't have to listen to them. Describe what's around you. Spend a few minutes taking in your surroundings and noting what you see. Use all your senses to provide as much detail as possible. This bench is red, but the bench over there is green. It's warm under my jeans since I'm in the sun. It feels rough, but there aren't any splinters. The air smells like smoke. I hear kids laughing and dogs barking. Next, we're going to get into soothing grounding techniques. Soothing grounding techniques are techniques you can use to comfort yourself in times of emotional distress. And these exercises can help promote good feelings that may help the negative feelings fade or seem less overwhelming. This is grounding technique number 22. Picture the voice or face of someone you love. If you feel upset or distressed, visualize someone positive in your life. Imagine their face or think of what their voice sounds like. Imagine them telling you that the moment is tough, but that you will get through it. 23. Practice self-kindness. Repeat kind, compassionate phrases to yourself. You're having a rough time, but you'll make it through. You're strong and you can move through this pain. You're trying hard and you're doing your best. Say it, either aloud or in your head, as many times as you need. 24. Sit with your pet if you have one. If you're at home and you have a pet, spend a few moments just sitting with them. If they're of the furry variety, pet them. Focus on how their fur feels. Consider their markings or unique characteristics. If you have a smaller pet that you can hold, concentrate on how they feel in your hand. Not at home? Think of your favorite things about your pet or how they would comfort you if they were there. 25. List favorites. List 3 favorite things in several different categories, such as foods. 3 favorite foods. 3 favorite kinds of trees or flowers. 3 songs, 3 movies, 3 books, 3 places. 26. Visualize your favorite place. Think of your favorite place, whether it's the home of a loved one or a foreign country. Using each of your senses, imagine the noises you hear, the objects you see, and the scents you smell. Try to recall the last time you went there. Think about what you did there and how it felt at the time. 27. Plan an activity. This might be something you do alone or with a friend or a loved one. Think of what you'll do and when. Maybe you'll go to dinner, take a walk on the beach, see a movie you've been looking forward to, or visit a museum. Focus on the details, such as what you'll wear, when you'll go, and how you'll get there. 28. Touch something comforting. This could be your favorite blanket, a much-loved t-shirt, a smooth stone, or anything that feels good to touch. Think about how it feels under your fingers or in your hand. If you have a favorite sweater, scarf, or a pair of socks, put them on and spend a moment thinking about the sensation of the fabric on your skin. 29. List positive things. Write or mentally list 4 or 5 things in your life that bring you joy, visualizing each thing briefly. 30. Listen to music. Put on your favorite song, but pretend you're listening to it for the first time. Focus on the melody and lyrics if there are any. Does the song give you chills or create any other physical sensations? Pay attention to the parts that stand out most. And now let's get into how grounding techniques work. Listen to music was the grounding technique number 30. I've used that often. I think a lot of us have. But how do these grounding techniques work? While there's little research explaining how grounding techniques work, the techniques represent a common strategy for managing PTSD and anxiety. Grounding techniques use tools such as visualization and senses, including sight, hearing, and smell, to help distract you from a variety of possible feelings and thoughts. Like mindfulness techniques, they help you to return to the present moment. During a panic attack or traumatic flashback, your emotions can take over your thoughts and physical responses. Focusing on the present through grounding techniques can help interrupt your body's response and return your brain and feelings to a place of safety. When do you use these grounding techniques? Using grounding techniques to help you manage feelings like distress, traumatic flashbacks, nightmares, painful emotions like anger, anxiety. It's best to try doing a grounding exercise when you first start to feel bad. Don't wait for distress to reach a level that's hard to handle. If the technique doesn't work at first, try to stick with it for a bit before moving on to another. And they provide a few additional tips. Grounding yourself isn't always easy. And I'm very glad that they put that in there, because this list of 30 grounding techniques, you're like, okay, I got this list. But then when you're going through the emotion, is it going to work? For me, like that, the one with put my hand under the water is helpful for me. Because it's like something, but what if I can't get to the water? So I need to learn more than one, you know? But it doesn't always work immediately because a lot goes on sometimes. But if we give ourselves grace, we can get back, to a grounded space where we can figure out a solution to what's going on around us. But again, grounding yourself isn't always easy, and it may take some time to find the techniques with an S. I know I need more than one. I don't know about you, but I need more than one grounding technique that works best for me in different situations. And here are some additional tips to help you get the most out of all these techniques. Practice. It can help to practice grounding even when you aren't disassociating or experiencing distress. If you get used to an exercise before you need to use it, it may take less effort when you want to use it to cope in the moment. Nice. Avoid assigning values. For example, if you're grounding yourself by describing your environment, concentrate on the basics of your surroundings rather than how you feel about them. That was a helpful tip. So right now I'm looking at my water bottle. It's blue. It's big. It got a sippy straw attached to it. Like the basics of it. Not like if I don't see it, I'm like, where's my water bottle? Or like I always got to have my water bottle with me. No feelings, just facts. Got it. Check in with yourself. Before and after a grounding exercise, rate your distress as a number between 1 and 10. That's helpful. What level is your distress when you begin? How much did it decrease after the exercise? This can help get a better idea of whether a particular technique is working for you. I'm definitely going to use that tip. That's a really good tip. Grounding techniques can be powerful tools to help you cope with distressing thoughts in the moment. If you're having trouble using grounding techniques, a therapist may be helpful, may be able to assist. Therapist, counselor, a professional. I'm definitely not a professional. I actually got this list from a professional, and once I go through this list, the next time I speak with her, she wants me to tell her which ones worked best for me. So this is just like a list. Again, it's available on www.healthline.com. But don't try to go it alone if you don't have to. If you have a counselor available to you or a therapist, someone in that capacity, call in some help with this list. Maybe even share the list with them and y'all can go over it together, So yeah, That's the end of the article. And I do hope I do hope it's helpful to you in ways that you need it to be. 1.